In this video, you will learn how to do sentence completion questions step by step. You can answer sentence completion questions using 3 key steps. These steps involve analyzing the question, scanning the passage, and reading intensively. Let's have a look at how to analyze the question. Once you have skimmed the passage, it's important to read the instructions carefully. Pay attention to the word limit, which is important for all completion question types. You can then read and identify the keywords in the question. It's also helpful to think of possible synonyms and paraphrases for these keywords. Another important aspect of answering sentence completion questions is reading the question to see what type of word form you need for the answer. You can do this by looking at the location of the gap. Let's have a look at an example question. As with other completion question types where you need to select words from the text, it is important to pay close attention to the instructions. These will tell you how many words you need to use. For example, for the questions that you see now, you must use no more than 3 words. Next, you need to identify the keywords. Which words do you think would be most helpful when scanning the passage? In question 11, the keywords you should scan for are used and China. Esperanto is the topic of the passage, so it's not a good word to scan for, as it will appear in the text several times. In question 12, regular, or a synonym of it, is the best word to scan for. Next, you need to decide the word form of the missing word or phrase. Let's look at question 12 first. If the gap is the first word of the sentence and is followed by a verb, then this is the subject of the sentence. This means that the answer needs to be a noun. This could be a one-word noun, a compound noun, or a noun phrase, such as a determiner or an adjective with a noun. You can also see that the gap is followed by the third-person verb is. This means that the gap will contain either a singular noun or an uncountable noun. There are many possible places in a sentence where the gap could be, so understanding sentence structure is important. Now let's try another one. Look at the sentence completion question 11. Which word form do you think you need here? In this case, again, you need a noun or a noun phrase. How do you know? Because the gap comes after the word for. For is a preposition. Let's learn a little more about prepositions. What other prepositions can you think of? Other prepositions include in, at, on, and of, to name a few. There are 2 options for words which come after a preposition. The first is an ing verb, which is also called a gerund. It looks like a verb, but it functions as a noun. For example, you could say, Esperanto is used for writing in China. Another option for a word that comes after a preposition is a noun itself. You could say, Esperanto is used for magazines in China. It doesn't have to be a standalone noun like magazines. It could be a noun phrase. For example, expensive magazines, some magazines, or university-published magazines. The main thing to remember is that a preposition is followed by either a gerund or a noun or noun phrase. After you have decided which word form you need for each sentence, you should scan the passage to search for the section which contains the information you need. To do this, you should look for words or phrases from the question. And of course, as you already know, you need to check for synonyms and paraphrases of these words. Let's look at question 11 again. One keyword is China. This is a difficult word to change, so it is a good word to scan for. Another keyword is used. This could be paraphrased or changed. Can you think of any synonyms for used? Now, scan the passage and locate the section which contains the information necessary to answer the question. These identified sentences in paragraph B both contain keywords from the question, which are use and China. In this case, you did not have to locate synonyms or opposites. However, it is common for IELTS reading passages to use these. Once you have located the correct section of the passage, the final step is to read it intensively to ensure you get the right answer. In other words, you need to read it carefully and slowly. Think back to when you analysed the question. Remember that there were two options for this gap: an ing form or gerund, or a noun or noun phrase. When you find the answer, make sure you copy the words directly from the passage. Look at the sentence from the passage and complete the question. Remember, you must use the exact words from the passage. Do not change the word form. Yes, the answer is many translations. The word many is optional. You will be marked correct if you include it or if you just write translations, as both have the correct meaning and are within the word limit. When you have the answer, check that the sentence is grammatically correct. Reread the sentence. There is a preposition, for, and it is followed by a noun. So this is correct. Sometimes you can tell that an answer is incorrect because the word does not fit the sentence. Remember to check your chosen answer adheres to the word limit.